why you don't wear your masks right now. So what has changed in the medical field?
Imagine a scenario where a brave young person stands up to the system, boldly exposing what's truly happening in the classrooms. This video serves as a powerful reminder that even the youngest can spot contradictions and flaws in an academic environment dominated by an imposed narrative. Accompanied by his father, who joins to firmly defend family values and common sense, this scene is a direct confrontation against woke agendas that aim to re-educate our children.
This book was on a stand. I'd like to read you a page. My back over my hips as I ask if we should take our clothes off. And he's saying yes before I finish my sentence. He's pulling off my t-shirt, laughing when I can't undo his shirt buttons. He's undoing my belt. I'm reaching into his bedside drawer for a condom. We're kissing again. We're rolling over. Obviously, you can see where this is going. I don't know if it's because we're feeling especially emotional or just tired, or these past couple of weeks have been too much. But this reminds me so much of the first time we had sex. We were both fucking terrified, and the whole thing was kind of terrible because we didn't know what we were doing. But it was good too, so good, because we were a mess of emotions, and we were scared and excited, and everything felt new. So this sort of feels like that. Nick touches me like he's scared that any minute. Now, this book was at my middle school, and it was on a stand. When I rented it out to show my dad it, the librarian asked if I wanted more and if I wanted a graphic novel version.
Oh, boy. So I'm that kid's father.
Okay, good. I was asking for you.
Yeah, I'll take another 3 minutes. So that's my son.
Okay.
11 years old, and went to his library and found that by the entry door of our library, this is the smut that he is finding, all right? I don't care whether it's gay, straight, bisexual, whatever the terms are for all this stuff, doesn't need to be at our school. Doesn't need to be at my 11-year-old's library. And then as far as genderqueer, I've got a son in the high school as well. And this is bullshit. We know it, all right? We do not need to be having literature that's showing boys how to suck dick, all right? I'm very, very frustrated about it, okay? And you may think that schools know the best for our children. You know who know the best for our children? The parents. And if you remember this, I was here last year talking about masks, and I even offered you proper usage for a mask, and you said I was bullying. And you know what I would like to say to everybody right now? Where are we a year later, and what has changed why you don't wear your masks right now? So what has changed in the medical field that is showing you that you don't have to wear masks now? So like I said, listen to the parents. I can tell you right now, I don't work anymore, and I will be more than happy to focus my time and effort to the security of my child and children in this school, all right? I will be a thorn in your sides. So I just want you to be aware of what you've woken, okay? I'm sure that a lot of you guys are fine and great people and have nothing but the best intentions for our children.
The courage of a child who openly challenges their teachers reveals a deeper issue within the current state of education. Without fear, this young person exposes the imposition of an ideological narrative that distorts the core principles of education, causing discomfort among the educators. At the same time, the firm intervention of the father not only reinforces the defense of family values, but also questions the authority of an educational system that has been instrumentalized to promote woke ideologies. This act prompts us to question the extent to which educators have been allowed to redefine what is acceptable to teach in the classroom. The struggle of this young individual and their father reflects a resistance against manipulation and indoctrination. It's not just about simple disagreements or disputes, but about protecting the fundamental right of parents to determine how their children's principles and values are formed. When educational institutions prioritize ideologies over objective knowledge, they lose their purpose and threaten intellectual freedom. This is not just about a child confronting their teachers, it's about a young person representing a generation unwilling to surrender their intellectual freedom. Such acts of courage become symbols of resistance against a system that seemingly prefers to impose a singular worldview over fostering critical thinking. The most alarming aspect is the passive attitude of educators who, instead of fostering dialogue, choose to entrench themselves in the defense of their narrative. What emerges here is an urgent need for parents and society to take charge in the education of young people. It cannot be allowed for a system designed to educate to become a platform for indoctrination. The response of this child and their father makes it clear that there are still those willing to defend education based on principles, not on temporary ideologies. It is crucial that parents remain vigilant and engaged in their children's education, ready to challenge the system when necessary. If left unchecked, there's a risk of raising a generation that passively accepts any imposition without the ability to critically analyze what is presented as truth. In a world where woke ideology has gained ground within educational institutions, these acts of resistance are essential to protect the intellectual freedom of young people. Classrooms must not become spaces of ideological imposition, deviating from their original mission of fostering reflection and debate. This incident highlights the importance of education being anchored in objectivity and reason. Genuine education does not impose, it guides, it does not indoctrinate, it cultivates. And when these principles are transgressed, it is the duty of parents and society to step in and correct the course to prevent a spiral of ideological control. The father's intervention goes beyond a simple act of protection. It serves as a reminder that parental authority cannot be replaced by institutional agendas. Education starts at home, and institutions should serve as a support, not as a substitute or competitor in the formation of values and principles. As these tensions increase, society must decide whether to allow a single ideology to dominate the educational discourse or to fight for an education that is free and diverse in ideas. The bravery of this child, supported by their father's resolve, is a clear example that resistance is not only possible but necessary. It is not an exaggeration to say that we are at a critical crossroads for education, and parents play a central role in determining the direction to be taken. Because in the end, what is at stake is not just the education of one child, but the future of an entire generation. This episode is not just an anecdote, but a call to action for all those who value education based on truth and respect for the diversity of thought. The courage of this child and the resolve of their father remind us that we must not remain silent in the face of impositions, but rather confront with determination any attempt to distort what is taught to our children. Education should be a pursuit of truth, and it is our responsibility to fight to keep it free from ideological manipulation. Let this be a reminder that silence is never an option when it comes to protecting the future of the next generations.